So a very warm welcome to you all here today. Thank you very much for joining us for the next in our series of webinars based on the Efma Accenture Innovation in Insurance Awards. And today we'll be looking at unpacking the key insurance trends in 2021. So I hope all of you will have been able to see the messaging, at least from our Innovation in Insurance Awards, which took place 2 weeks ago today. We were really honored and privileged to receive over 460 submissions, which was a record-breaking year for us. And as you'll be hearing from Sylvia in a couple of minutes' time, what we've done is had a look through those submissions to really draw out the key trends of what we've seen changing and where innovation is going in insurance over the past year or so. So I'm really happy to be able to hand over to our speakers and panelists for today. We'll be hearing from Sylvia Milian, Strategy and Consulting Iberia Insurance Lead from Accenture. She'll be taking us through those trends first of all, and then she'll be introducing us to some of our lucky nominees from this year's awards. So we'll be hearing from Pedro Diaz-Yusta, General Director of Mapfre-Savien, Anjana Rao, Chief Strategy Officer of India First Life Insurance, and Kurtzen Sulzer, New Business Manager from the Baloise Group. So, as I said, a little introduction from myself, over to the insurance trends from Sylvia, and then interview with our nominees. So Sylvia, welcome again. Lovely to have you with us, and really looking forward to hearing the trends from today.
Thank you very much, Hannah. And I'm very pleased to be with all of you here today. As Anna mentioned, this is one of our insurance webinars, which is focusing on the Innovation in Insurance Awards. So the brilliant global ceremony brought together insurers, insurtechs, and financial services companies from across the globe as we discuss the leading innovation in the industry, making the exceptional visible. And what do these innovations tell us about the development of the industry? Accenture conducted an in-depth analysis of all the different entries, resulting in standout trends. We'll be going through these trends today and speaking as well as to Mapfre, Baloise, and India First Life to hear more on their great innovations. So if we move to the next slide, we can see here the 6 trends that we defined. Sorry, let's skip on this one, sorry. Here we have the summary of the 6 key trends that our research uncovered. The experience redefined, the pervasive AI, the embedded ecosystem, digital health and wellness, working unleashed, and insurance goes green. Now we'll have a deeper look into each of those. If we move to the first one, which is the experience redefined, what we mean here is that insurance consumers and employees want really to experience has really changed during the COVID-19 period. Insurers are differentiated by the ability to provide an everywhere and anywhere experience. So what does this mean in practice? We can take, for example, Multiasistencias Macarena, an innovative AI voice bot that provides 100% automated first notice of loss for home insurance claims. This tool combines natural language, machine learning, and predictive modeling technologies with deep knowledge and expertise in process and service. So using the right technologies, insurers can transform their traditional experiences. If we move to the second trend, AI defines experience and experience defines AI, meaning that AI technologies are leading the way in how we reimagine the insurance experience. Leading insurers are finding ways to leverage AI at scale across the value chain. And for this trend, we are going to examine the case alongside Anjana Rao of India First Life in more detail a little bit later in the session. If we now move on to the third trend, we are looking into embedded ecosystem. Embedded ecosystems are where insurance and other industries converge. By embedding insurance ecosystem within the broader propositions, we can add value. So Dr. Kurtzen Sulzer from Baloise will touch on how they achieved this at a later stage. If we look at the fourth trend, it's digital health and wellness. And there's no doubt that COVID-19 accelerated the need to provide digital solutions in the health and wellness space. For insurance, the intersection of digital and their own data and capabilities enables them to offer end-to-end health and wellness services across the value chain. So for example, Mapfre has had a great success in implementing this across their Savia digital ecosystem platform, which we will hear about from Pedro Diaz-Yusta later in the session. Working Unleashed is our next trend, because in the past year, we have necessitated new ways of collaborating and working. the insurance industry has traditionally relied on in-person interaction. So this shift has empowered some exciting innovations and efficiencies. For example, Liberty Seguros applies gamification to their sales training environment, as well as integrating it to all commercial and development actions, from the deployment of strategy to day-to-day commercial activities. So this could include training a broker, identifying sales opportunities, or conducting product training. And last but not least, insurance go green. But going green is more than just ticking off a list of sustainability requirements. True sustainability means integrating the ESG principles across every element of the business in order to reimagine how the business functions. For example, in our consumer study, it recently revealed that sustainability is a key decision-making factor in consumers selecting their insurer, particularly in millennial and younger market segments. For example, Valois provides a motor policy that provides services to help clients switching to an electrical vehicle. So as you can see from this session, we have great trends, 6 key trends that we uncovered from all the award entries. And what we'll do now is we'll hand over to our panelists to show you a little bit more about their own innovations. So let's start with Pedro Driat from Sabia, Mafre.
Hi, everybody. Hola, buenas tardes, buenos días a todos. I'm really happy to be here with all of you sharing our experience in digital health with Sabia. But before beginning, I will tell you a bit about Sabia. Sabia is a digital platform for health services. That is a subsidiary of Mafre, that is the leading insurance company in Spain. And we are 100% owned by Mafre, but we are not an insurance company. We are a services company, a digital services company that work in the health arena. And why in the health arena? Well, because at the end we are living a digital revolution in every industry, in every sector. And of course, this is also happening in health. I think that the most easy way to understand how the digital revolution is changing our lives is if we take into consideration that we, as human beings, we are not just human beings. We are connected human beings. We are 24/7 connected human beings. And this means that if we take into account the kind of information that our body is spreading in every moment, if we manage this information in a smart way, using all the tools that the technology today can provide to us, then we can really improve the health of the users, the health of the citizens, the health of our customers. And that's the reason why in Mafre, the leading insurer in Spain, we decided that in the digital world, that is where we are beginning to live, the future of the health insurance product begins with the customer experience, in the digital world. So with all of this, we decided 2 years ago to build a new value proposition in digital health completely from scratch and take it into account not any things regarding the systems in Mafre, of the processes in Mafre, the traditional organization in Mafre. So completely from scratch, from a digital point of view. And now is the day that we have launched Sabia, that is digital health services from your mobile. You have 2 kinds of services. First of all, telemedicine. From your mobile, you can access a GP or a specialist through chat or through video, with all the possibilities that the telemedicine can give to you today. For example, medical reports, online prescription, and all of this information is uploaded in a private area that it's in your mobile. So you can access and share this information with the other GPs or other specialists that you could need. Second, we integrate in Savia, in the value proposition of Savia, also a marketplace to sell health services with a pay-per-view basis. So, for example, you can buy a diagnosis test to be held physically in a hospital, in a private hospital in Spain, but you can read all the information in a transparent way from the web or from your mobile. You can see what is the cost, you can see what are the characteristics of the service, you buy and you pay it to Savia, and then you go to enjoy the service there to the hospital. We also include in this broad catalog a lot of at-home medical services. So today is the day that we are the leading online platform for at-home services in Spain, medical services in Spain. So, and how have we done this? Well, we have built Savia, taking into account the lesson learned from the big techs. What are the key 3 lessons that we can learn from the big techs, from the Google, the Amazon, the Apple? First of all begins with customer experience. So we have to build the product specifically to have the customer at the center. And we co-create the product with the customer. In Google, they say, user first, and the rest will come. So that's the reason why we have built the value proposition specifically to be useful for the users, and then we will see what is the way we earn money with this. Okay? First of all, customer-centric. Second, data-driven. We have built this platform being really obsessed about data. We measure every little interaction that our users have with us. Of course, we are talking about interaction in the health arena. We are talking about the health of the user. So we have to take this into consideration, and the information about your health is probably the most important, the most relevant and information that you have to protect. Here, we establish a lot of quality controls in order to assure that the information of your health that you are sharing with us and having in interaction with Savia, we upload all this information in the cloud, but taking into account all the measures regarding safety, regarding protection, regarding reliability. And as far as we have launched Savia after the launch of the GDPR, this means that we have built Savia with following all the rules of the GDPR. We used to say that we are GDPR by design. So, okay, we are working in health, but this doesn't mean that we cannot use cloud and machine learning, artificial intelligence, for example, for the sake of a better user experience. It's funny, for example, that one of the uses that we do with the machine learning is the ability to anonymize all the data that we can have from the user. So we can manage with all the health information that we have in the cloud, taking into account that all this information is completely anonymized. And we use machine learning for this. So we used to say that we use machine learning for the ethic usage of data. Okay, so we have talked about customer experience, data-driven, and third, really important, the technological platform. We have built a technological platform that is really appified, really easy to interconnect with third parties, and this means that we are really agile when launching new services, because these health services that we provide in the platform has not developed by ourselves. We collaborate in an extensive way with the startups in the health tech arena that provides to us these solutions that we integrate easily in our platform. This platform is completely in the cloud, appified, and for me, the important thing is to put at the hands of the user different digital health solutions and see if they really fit their needs or not. If they fit their needs, then okay, this kind of solution remain in my platform in Sapia. If not, okay, the cost for doing this is not really high. So we can iterate, we can experiment, we can try different things. Well, to finish, about 2 years after the launch of Sapia, and we are proud to say that we have now more than 300,000 users and around 50,000 customers. And we are the leading health platform, health digital platform in Spain. And to be really honest with you, the COVID-19, of course, it has been a tragedy for everybody, but with a platform of digital health, it's a great opportunity to boost the usage. And we have taken this opportunity, and that's where we are today. Well, Silvia, I think that for the brief introduction, I think it's okay.
Muchas gracias, Pedro. Thank you very much. So let's move to the second innovation, Anjana from India First Life Insurance.
Hello, everybody. I'm Anjana from India First Life. India First Life is a growing insurance company, and we strongly believe in technology to be the driver to help us in our growth journey. So we have always been very strong on technology investments, and we believe digital first is our motto. Now, let me talk about the solution as to, so let me just say, I mean, we introduced a sales solution for our frontline sales and their managers, a solution which helps them, which gives them a platform to do day-to-day sales activities all at one place. And what led us for going ahead with this particular solution is something, so we always had a solution. We always used to say like, yeah, we are moving towards paperless, we have 90% paperless again. So, but what were the real the driving? We evolved in the last 10 years, and we figured out that in the journey we have given our frontline multiple sales app. So for a set of activities, there is one sales app. For quotations, there's another app to check their performance. There's another app to send out communication, standardized communication. Again, there was another app. Or there were areas which were so in a way, what happened is our entire sales process was scattered. It was scattered across multiple apps. So we said, why don't we just look at redefining our journey and move on to a platform rather than being a native app. Move on to a platform which will also give us the flexibility which a mobile platform comes up with, in the sense, I mean, we become OS agnostic. So no longer it is only my sales app will work only with the tab which the organization provides. No, I mean, you have a smartphone, go ahead and use it over your smartphone. You have your tab or any other OS that which your tab supports. There is the sales app is there for you. So we wanted to have a single sign-on kind of a feature, so that the sales guys don't have to remember so many apps which I have to go to or remember the password. But that doesn't mean that everything was a mashup, like we integrated all the apps. No, few apps we definitely integrated, and we enabled single sign-on. We also enabled role-based accesses, because we realized, and I'll talk about it in the next slide, as to how there are varied features. Maybe we'll go to the previous one. I'll come to this. Let's stick to the first one, please. Yeah. So essentially, My sales folks were required to remember multiple credentials. Now they need not. There were multiple. I've spoken about the journey being across multiple tools. Performance, the sales performance, either they had to wait for the daily sales flash report to come in, or they have to, and they have to go somewhere else, maybe in their email box, to figure out, okay, fine, what has been my numbers like, And for coaching and guidance, it was always the manager who was coaching the frontline sales, which always is a case. But maximum time, because these guys were spending on the field, you know, um, whether he is able to spend good enough time with each one of the individuals was something which we were not sure of. So then we said, okay, fine, why don't we go ahead and come up with a platform which has a unified journey. So rather than having scattered journey, it's one unified journey. It's moving away from a native app to a platform-based approach. It is also moving away from plethora of vendors to a one single vendor. So it becomes more manageable. The platform also gives us the options of working in an offline and an online mode. So that's like a true empowerment to the sales folks. So maybe we can move ahead to the next slide. Yeah. So these were the drivers. Those were the drivers which pushed us to go ahead and implement Simplify. Now, why? What is so special, or what makes Simplify so special? So one is it caters to the various channels for us. Be it our agency, be it our captive sales base, or be it the bank assurance partners, the wealth management team of our banker partners. It is also helping us with, to enable the third party distributors to its services. Either we integrate with them or we can extend our solution as it is. So that's what has this platform enabled us to do, and all as a mobile app or a web app. So the same functionality, you build it once, you can use it as a mobile app or you can use it as a web app, depending upon what suits the end user. So he or she has a choice now. What is it that I want to use? Yeah. And we are not always worried about, okay, fine, if I have to extend it to a partner, whether the partner would have an Android, tab, or do we have to provide them? And, they may not always be online. So a web-based version, again, was not working out well for all the entire frontline sales. So what makes it so special? So one aspect is this. Second is, what have we done with this app? So while the entire sales journey end to end, right from prospecting, even before prospecting, yeah, the way the territories are managed, the way the way the territories are managed, the way the profiling is done of the individual, and then be it prospecting, so the channel setup part, then the prospecting, or be it lead generation, or equipping them with all the necessary financial planning tools. It's all there with them. They can see their pipeline as to, okay, fine, this is my pipeline, how much do I need to do? As we move ahead, they have there's a smart form. We have equipped it with AI OCR capabilities. Now these capabilities are something which help to minimize the data entry and all the supporting documents, because they are pre-read, pre-validated. So the application form filling process actually becomes much more simplified. We are all aware life insurance forms, are a bit longer as compared to, property or health insurance. So PNC or health insurance. So that's where, we just try to figure out what is it that will make his life simple, what were the pain areas, how do we help him to meet his numbers. So with that in mind, again, we kind of infused all these functionalities wherever we could make it smarter. So if it is lead generation, can we not tell him, basis the past score, okay, fine, these are the leads which he has to focus on. So we embedded AI over there. you know uh, if there's a territory, we know, okay, fine, which territory, which BDM. So let's say if we have 100 top performers, how are these top performers and the territories? What's the match? What kind of profile works well with which particular territory? So again, we infused AI over there and derived some intelligence, which we again used and embedded into the app. So lead scoring again helped the BDMs to know. They don't have to think whether it is a hot lead or not. The app has already told them, look, this is a hot lead, why don't you focus on it? And again, then we also introduced a set of nudges. Now these nudges is something which I'm quite fascinated with, the Jarvis suit of Iron Man. And so the way the Jarvis always keeps telling him, I mean, do this, and it helps him to combat. Similarly, the thought was, why don't we, because he's all alone, or when he is at the bank branches or with the customer, or always on the move. So the manager may not be there, or the guide may not be there always with him. Why don't we enable nudges which tell him what should be the next best action? So be it his beat plan, so if he has a beat plan, what are the things that I'm supposed to do today? If he has checked in at a branch, a bank branch, he also comes to know, okay, fine, look, Anjana, these are the 10 things that you have to do at this branch. You have to meet this branch official. These are the 2 customers from you whom you have to collect documents, or these are the persistency collections which you need to follow up on. So these are the nudges which are being delivered to him. They are all contextual, and depending on where he is, he gets the nudges. So if he has 4-5 branches, he always has a companion in the form of these nudges, which are kind of guiding him. We have implemented voice. I mean, it's just an initial try, but yes, we are enabling it with voice commands. So that's where we are on how we have strengthened our platform. So it was an end-to-end sales platform. We have made it much more smarter by not just with validations, by putting in AI at various, we've identified various gaps, okay, fine, these were the gaps, these are the places which could be the productivity boosters, and I'll share subsequently how it has helped. I would say we are yet to realize the full potential of this, exploit the full potential of this platform. While there is a good adoption, what we are still doing is monitoring. How it takes time for the sales guys who are working in a certain manner to adopt to the newer tools. But we definitely see quite a shift in the metrics, which we'll talk subsequently. Another thing which I wanted to talk about is it also tells us about it. Earlier, we never had the ability for a front end sales person to service the customer. So here now he is empowered, where he can, while he is interacting with the customer, he can always raise a ticket, do the servicing for the customer from wherever he is. If he's with the customer, he's at the bank branch, wherever he is, he can do the servicing all by himself. In short, this is what Simplify has entailed or has enabled us. One interesting thing which I forgot to mention is we have basis again. So basis his performance now, because we know it's at one place. The performance also is there at one single repository, at one single place. We are able to link his performance to and accordingly recommend, okay, fine, what are the learnings which you need to go through to improvise your performance basis how he has performed on certain metrics. So there's a dynamic learning assignment which happens, basis which he starts, he begins his learnings and tries to improvise on the journey, on the performance. Maybe we can move ahead. So what is the benefit that India First Life has achieved by implementing Simplify? as I said, the benefit realization process, while it has kicked in, we are yet to realize the entire benefits which we have envisaged. We are work in progress, is what I can say. So while it has helped us to shift to a 100% paperless process, uh, it has also helped us. So the whole intent was, how can I help my field sales to do more? So it has helped us to improvise our first time right ratio. And now we stand at 67%. As I said, I mean, we strive to improvise it, but yes, we have, because we have now one integrated process sales journey. We have got a lift in the FTR ratio. We have got we have been able to we have seen a 28% lift in our sales productivity. We have seen our average application processing time getting reduced. We have also seen during we were insulated during the current lockdown because we could work in a situation where a face-to-face, if even if there's no face-to-face interaction, we could still do the business without much impact on, because of the mobility of our solution. AI OCR has again helped us, to minimize the time. It has helped us to enhance the FTRs. Cost of development has significantly reduced for us because of the platform approach. And I need to talk about the journey. The journey has got simplified substantially for the end user. I think, yeah, that's it. I mean, this is simply the architecture.
Thank you very much, Anjana, for this innovation presentation. And let's move to the third innovation from Balois.
Thank you.
Yeah, hello. My name is Korsen Sulzer from Balois Insurance, and yeah, we can move to the next slide. We are a Swiss-based insurance company, and we are in an innovation and transformation period, season 2 program, and we have 3 pillars how to innovate and how to transform Balois. This is 1: focus the core, reimagine the core, and diversify the core. And this all 3 pillars will change and drive us into future, so that we are still relevant in 50 years or so to come, but starting today. And with the next example, insurance, you can see how this plays into our operative business. So here we have an interesting case. This is a camper sharing platform founded in Switzerland a few years ago, and they had a problem. They needed a new insurance partner. They wanted a new insurance partner. So what is a basic problem of the sharing economy? You no longer have a user who is the owner and who bears the risk. These functions are decoupled. So you have a person who owns a car, you have a different person who wants to use it. And yeah, if you're as an insurance expert, you know this bears a lot of problems: risks for the platform, risks for the owner, risks for the driver. And so we came up with a new API-based insurance solution that is purely digital. And the problem which we also solved is, normally such a product would never have been profitable if you do it with a paper-based process. So we only can offer this product because it's fully integrated into the platform via our clever APIs, which our partner Casco is handling. And so we have a frictionless customer journey. We have a need-based offering, which is presented directly at the point of sale. Imagine an old-fashioned insurance guy comes to your home and says, hey, you need an insurance for camper-based sharing. So if you're not booking a holiday, you say, hey, it's not relevant for me. But once you are really looking for a holiday on such a platform, you say, hey, this is a good thing. And with that solution, you don't even have to select it. It is integrated into the trip. So this makes it a lot more easier and really helps, people to feel safe in the sharing economy. And what is really cool about the product that we were, as it is 1 year young, we're already able to scale it with different partners like My Oldtimer Fun or Deuxième.ch, which is a platform based in the French speaking part of Switzerland. And so here you see what really makes the value of such ideas is that you can also use the bits and pieces in other contexts. So, and as the idea was to talk a bit about further trends that we wanted to explore from that, we can move on to the next example. This is not a furniture sharing platform, but it is a platform that is really renting out whole styles for apartments. So imagine you had a divorce, or you want just to change rapidly your style, or you're an expat coming to a new town. So there you need fast the whole equipment for your apartment. And then Pabio steps in and offers you a rental model for your furniture. And also here you have no chance to cover that with traditional insurance products. You don't want to do all the paperwork, and it has to be fully integrated into the platform's offering. So here again, we come up with our API-fied solution that really seamlessly plugs into the platform and solves the problem of risk that is inherent in the sharing economy. If we go, I think, one slide further, we can be even more extreme in going into areas where insurance makes sense. So imagine you have a style that is fashion. So here we have a fashion sharing platform with Share That Wear that are really into, it is high fashion or expensive accessories, but still, who would insure fashion in a C2C context where you share it from one private person to another? You have a lot of risks that you have to address, and it is really, we are talking about the sum that you have for a transaction is about 50 francs, which is the basis, and you can't only handle these sums if you are really digital and really working in a very efficient way, and also have an idea how to cover the risks and the whole process of claims also thought through. So, and with this examples, you can see what it is about with the insurance initiative which we launched. We want to really become more relevant, and this is only possible because we learn from partners with which we go into the ecosystems of the communities, or into the needs of the people, and bring them really specific and relevant products that solve actual problems. Nobody would buy such an insurance without having the transaction at the person's hand. So if we go on just to the next slide, you see that this idea or this spirit helps us also to go into not insuring things, but insuring events. So here we see bike assistance, which we offer, and this is also we sell it with a distribution partner in Switzerland. It's convenience stores all over Switzerland. They have a very strong brand in Switzerland, and here you have the problem that persons are only a transaction takes up to 10 seconds. Normally they buy chewing gum or Coca-Cola or other beverages. So and here to sell an insurance product in such an environment is really something very not the typical place where you sell insurance, as you all know by yourselves. But this is also very a lucky shot, because that store chain has said they want to go into bikes, and so it is a perfect match from our side, and we have the flexibility to offer a solution which they can sell to their customers. So, but these are all insurance-based ideas. And what I said at the beginning, Baloise is moving itself from a traditional perspective on working on the core or reimagining the core into an ecosystem approach where we want to diversify our core. And here we change the perspective. Instead of looking what the partner has as a problems and the customers of these partners have problems, we think from the customer and say, what is the value chain that is relevant for the customer, so that we can develop solutions with our partners or with our acquisitions. As you can see here, we have several acquisitions made in that ecosystem to really offer a solution that brings a benefit to the customers. And if we go to the next slide, you see we have this done with the ecosystem of living, and we also have that in the ecosystem of mobility. You see also there we want really to go into detail and look what is relevant for the customer and how we can be a part of the value chain of a new mobility ecosystem, and also with new services. And normally we do that with acquisitions, and so to build up that network. And yes, personally, I started as an insurance guy, and yeah, this is one of the last days at Baloise, and because I'm also stepping into being part of that ecosystem with founding a company, which you can see on the next slide. So this is offering parking services for customers, where we solve the problem of institutional asset owners, that they have more and more empty parking spaces. And on the other hand side, in urban areas, you have people who struggle finding a parking space, and here we solve the problem by reinventing parking. So this is how really extreme we rethink our business model from insurance to being a part of the new value chain. Thank you.
Thank you very much, all the three guests. You have one more slide to go, Carson? Or
no,
shall we
this
move
is
to
just
the final?
hand
Okay.
if we can.
Perfect. Then I will ask also Anjana and Pedro if you could switch on your cameras again, and then we can share some of the best practices and lessons learned from the three innovations. Okay, thank you. Welcome again, Pedro, Anjana, and of course, Carson. So maybe Pedro, let's start with you. How did you accommodate the management of an innovative business like Savia into a traditional company like Mapfre? What would you recommend to others that are looking into similar experiences?
It's a great question, Silvia. I mean, we're mixed. I mean, we work as a startup company in Savia, but we are 100% owned by Mapfre. So for doing this, you need, I will say, three things. First of all, you need a strong commitment from the top of the organization. In Savia, we are proud that we have the full confidence of our president, Antonio Huertas, the president of Mapfre, and Jose Manuel Inchausti, that is the CEO of Mapfre Iberia. And this is really important. So how we work in the organization? My boss, my manager is this, Jose Manuel Inchausti, the CEO of Mapfre Iberia. And behind me is the organization of Savia that works in an autonomous way. All of the core functions of the company are completely autonomous. We are talking about customer experience, sales, business development, medical, of course, because we are a health service, data, and IT. This is my my steering committee, and 90% of the business decisions are taken in our weekly meetings, and the most strategic are taken in Mapfre. So this gives us the support, the umbrella of the big Mapfre. It's great, but we have the autonomy for the main parts of the business. And of course, you cannot run a business only with these key parts. You also need the support of legal, HR, finance, purchasing, security, etc. All of these are functions that are provided to us by the MAFRE traditional structure, but we work with them let's say we are customer VIP customer. I mean, when a request is coming from Savia, then they prioritize this in order not to have problems with the agility that we need to be really flexible in the market. And this model that is a flexible model working with the two dimensions is working pretty well.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think you have to figure the right recipe, right, to combine innovation in a kind of startup like Savia, but protected by the overall umbrella of a company like MAFRE. That sounds great, Pedro. Thank you. And also, maybe Anjana, from your experience in your innovation, what's the road ahead now after what you just told us?
Sure. So voice is more and more experiments with voice and related AI. So we are wanting to make voice very prominent and figure whether we can enable voice commands so that or voice enabled UI. So the complete interface is voice enabled, which again, enhances the productivity for quite a few things, maybe application form filling. I'm not sure whether you will be able to ever replace, but yes, for other stuff, voice is the interface. He need not even go and access the UI. He just uses voice commands. That's another thing. Another prominent, again related to voice, is because we are thinking of how do we enable capturing of, so when he's making a sales pitch, when the frontline sales makes a sales pitch, if we can do a voice analysis, and figure out what are the top words, keywords which are being used by a performer, and again that be used by the Jarvis, by our nudges, to tell him, that this is what are the words which you need to use or a performer uses, and so this is how you will enhance your pitching.
Okay, it's very interesting. And how about for Baloise, because you shared a great success story, what foundation did you lay with this innovation for the company to?
Yeah, the whole journey that laid the foundations began 5 years ago, where we had several projects that lay the foundation of that success. And one very essential point was to reorganize our sales structure, because in the past we had a different channels. As in all companies, brokers, you have the own field service and you have the telephone and then also the internet channel. We said to be really in the position to offer innovations, we have and to be really customer centric, we had an omni-channel product where we changed the structure so that every customer has access to all the channels, and yeah, the customer is in the driver's seat, and he or she can select the adequate channel for the task at hand. And from this logic out, we also saw that partners and all the other brokers are not competitors, but really partners. And this is why we went into the really acquisition of partners. And the field service is bringing most of these external partners. And with the old view, with the old contract and old compensation model, this wouldn't have happened. But with a new model, partners are regarded as an extension to our field service and to our company, and really regarded as partners. And so now we have more than 1,000 partners that are in different areas like furniture stores or sales channels for hearing aids and so on and so on. And we really dock into that, shops into that solutions, and the most important foundation is the omni-channel model. And another very important foundation is our partnership with Casco, our IT implementer, who offer us the platform and also the toolkit. You have to have modular contracts, you have to have modular marketing material. It's not only about IT, you have to have all these processes, all these templates, all these building blocks at hand that you can recombine them very fast and very swiftly to address a specific situation with a partner and its product. We insure now about 60 types of different gadgets, cyber risks, banking risks through our partners, and to really be able to offer that variety, you have to have standardized, easy to use and easy to connect foundations, which you don't have to invent every time you come up into a new situation.
And talking about ecosystems and the complexity, right, to manage those. In the case of Shadia, Pedro, how did you manage this relationship between the startups and the larger company?
Well, for being success as this, Sylvia, I also have a magic recipe with 3 ingredients. That is, when you wanted to have a good relationship between these 2 different parties, the traditional company, well-funded, the big, a lot of history, and so on and so on and so on, and the startup, I have found 3 ingredients for the magic recipe. First of all, appification is really, really important because it's really facilitate the possibility to provide the service of the third party. So sometimes I find startups that are providing a really good service, taking into account the user perspective, but they are not appified. And I say to them, I really love your service. Please come back when you are appified. If not, I don't want to talk to you, because we cannot lose time, budget, and effort making complex integration that perhaps are not going to be well seen by the user. So first of all, appification. Second, have win-win model with them. Win-win model means that as far as put in practice this integration and provide your service to my customers, it's cheap, quick, and easy because we are appified, then we're not going to pay to you a big amount of money to begin to give the service. We are putting this at the hands of the user. And if the user decides that your value proposition is really good, then both of us are going to earn money with this, and both of us are going to grow together. And the third, and for me, this third is cultural, is the most important, is to be humble. And I talk about the bidirectional humility. That means that we, as a big traditional well-funded company, has to be humble enough to recognize that these 2 young guys working in the garage are able to put in place a solution that it's really given a lot of value added to the user, to my customer. Sometimes it happens that we in the big organization, we say, wow, this is a good idea, but here the question is the execution, so I can do it better by myself. No, forget it. You are not right. You are going to be wrong. This never works, never. So if you have the possibility to integrate this with others, try different things and let everyone to be able to demonstrate that their value proposition is good enough. But this is not easy to have this level of humility in a big organization. But this humility has to be bidirectional, because you also need it on the other side. And there's a lot of people coming from startups that they say to you, I understand your problem, but you know, guy, I'm here to change the world, And it's great, but sometimes they have to recognize that helping to change a big organization, a big traditional company, as could be the case of Mapfre, it's also a way to change the world. If we are able to adapt the level of conversation and we see each other with the same level of sight, then things could work. This has been the case with Savia. Currently, we integrate in our value proposition services, digital health services from more than 5 different companies, and it's working pretty well.
Well, thank you very much, Pedro. I think that was a great set of both technical and human recommendations. So thank you for that. I see we are running out of time, and so I will hand it over back to Hannah, but I would really encourage people to ask questions offline. They can contact us, like Hannah.
Thank you, Sylvia. Yes, please don't hesitate to reach out with your questions, and we'll make sure that they'll get over to Kurtz and Jana and Pedro and Sylvia, of course, as well. So thank you all once again for being here. Thank you, Sylvia, Pedro, and Jana, Kurtz, and thank you for taking the time to share your experiences and your journeys. I know it's really important to our community to hear from how the best are doing it. So thank you. And thank you to all our participants for joining in, for listening. And we hope to see you all again soon. So thank you very much, everybody. Have a lovely rest of the day, and hope to see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.